Welcome to the Fempire podcast for women building empires where your health, relationships, and wealth rise together. Here we focus on what moves the needle the most. I am your host, Jessica Joy. Let's sharpen the axe and dive in. Today we're talking about how to harness peptides, biohacking, and supplements to accelerate your results when it comes to your health, your body composition, your energy, your focus. I am all about having your foundations optimized and then giving ourselves a little bit of an unfair advantage with modern tools. In my opinion, there is so much available to us. Ultimately, it is your decision if you want to harness these tools. But I think the best thing that you can do is to inform and educate yourself on them and then choose what is aligned for you. You don't know what you don't know. I remember when peptides first came out, I'm like, oh, that feels bro science-y. That feels like, oh, people are just trying to cut corners and do this magic pill. And then as I took my certification around it, the right peptide for the right person could truly change their life. And they're way less invasive than hormone replacement. They're way less invasive than surgery if somebody's getting a gastric sleeve, right? They're way less invasive than a lot of pharmaceuticals. Okay, same with biohacking, same with supplements. Yes, some people are trying to use them as a magic pill and bypass all the foundations they need to build, but you don't have to use them that way. Sheesh, even for me, this past year, my energy was going down. I'm 41. I have great foundations with nutrition, exercise, water, sleep, stress management, but my energy was going down just because I'm hitting perimenopause as part of the thing. So using some of these modern tools, I was able to get my edge back, increase my energy, increase my capacity, increase my focus, which I need that. I have a lot going on. I have a mission in this planet to empower women in their health and to feel extremely vibrant and powerful in their mind and their body and their soul, and to build empires where their health, wealth, and relationships are all coming up together. Okay, I need energy for that. I value my relationships so much. I will never get the time back with my kids as they're getting older. Okay, they're already teenagers. Okay, I need my energy. I need that capacity. I need to be sharp. I need to be mindful of, the income that is coming in so I can support them and our family and do that in a long-term way. I want to be present with my husband. I want to be mindful of how we're generating income so that we're not sacrificing our health and relationships along the way. Like, energy is like your biggest asset, right? And so some of these modern tools I'm so grateful for. And so I want to give you some education around them. And will be broad. We'll go deeper on other episodes. So all of these first episodes are very broad in general. We're not going down a deep rabbit hole too much. But let's dive in, okay? One great but annoying thing about me is I will always advocate assessing first. When it comes to peptides, blood work has to come first, in my opinion. I would never put somebody on a peptide without knowing what's going on in their blood work. I just wouldn't. So assess, build the foundations. And this is what I wanted to say. There is no supplement, biohack, or peptide that can replace your foundations. Nutrition, exercise, water, sleep, stress mitigation. I call it the daily news. What an amazing acronym. Memorize it yourself. Okay, I've used it for years in my coaching. You just can't replace it. There's no peptide that build your muscle for you in your workouts. Okay? It's just, that's non-negotiable. And I'm never going to put somebody on a peptide where they're not getting enough protein. I'm just not going to do that. Okay, so these are where we accelerate after we've done the assessment and after we're building and optimizing the foundation, then we accelerate. That's why it's step 3 in the approach that I run. Okay, so peptides. You may be super familiar with these. They may be really new to you. Okay, so they are short chains of amino acids that act as signaling messengers in the body. So in simple terms, they tell your body to do something specific, like really simple terms, regulate appetite, improve insulin response, increase growth hormone release, things like that. Okay, so because they mimic naturally occurring signals, they work with your physiology rather than just overriding it. Okay, so like I said before, these are much less invasive than a lot of pharmaceuticals and a lot less invasive than hormone replacement therapy, where we're actually optimizing the system in your body. So certain signals that may have become dormant or slowed down, we can turn those signals back on and increase them. Okay, so there's different peptides for different goals. Most people are going to be familiar with the GLP and fat loss, right? But there's so many more. Okay, there's ones that are, yes, will support fat loss in your metabolism. There's going to be ones that support recovery, reducing inflammation, supporting muscle repair. There's going to be ones that support cognitive function and support focus. There's even ones that improve your skin and more cosmetic peptides. Okay, they're not shortcuts, but they are tools that can enhance. If you're already doing things well, they're only going to enhance them. Okay. So next, let's go into biohacking. What do I mean by this? Biohacking, I feel like, has been hacked by bro science. It's like, okay, biohacking, I think of like early morning cold plunges, and I think of red light therapy, and I think of blue light blocker glasses. And I think of like intense regimens where, oh, I'm going to try eating only fish for 5 days and see how much. Like, I would say those are a bit more bro style biohacking. And biohacking can be as simple as, like, one example could be um, carb timing. So, pairing your carbs around your workouts will actually improve your body composition. So, this is just a little biohack. You were already going to eat, you were already going to work out, but now it's like, oh, we're actually going to put a decent amount of your carbs for the day before your workout to fuel your workout. And then we're going to put a decent amount to replenish your glycogen stores after the workout. It's just, and then that's will actually help you get a little bit leaner. Amazing. Okay. So it doesn't have to be some regimen. It doesn't have to be some intense thing. It can just be one biohack integrated into your life, not taking you any extra time. You're just smarter, not harder. Right. So a biohack is, I would call it it can be a strategic tweak that helps your body work or respond better, gives you more energy, things like that. It does not have to be some intense protocol. And in fact, some of the bro science ones can be really draining for women because we work more in a cyclical nature. And we thrive with a little bit more flex and flow. Such a regimen can be like, just like another thing we have to do, right? So I work with women specifically because I understand this. So we want to harness biohacking in a way that gives you more energy and doesn't feel like a thing to do. It's like, I integrate this and I feel better. I have more energy. And the days that, it's okay to have a little bit of flex and flow with it, right? Okay, it doesn't need to take more time, just like I said, like you're going to eat anyway. Maybe we have more strategy with the eating. Or if you want more to improve your cognitive function, increasing your omega-3s is a great way to go. You can do this with supplementation, but I love to pair it with some things that you integrate into your nutrition. And then even adding a little bit of creatine and bumping that up, because creatine, yes, will support muscle and building muscle, but it will also, if you bump it up, supports cognitive function. And there's so many studies showing this now. So look, you were going to have, it's like you were going to eat anyway. You were going to take some supplements anyway. Let's just integrate a few more strategies into it to get more bang for our buck. Yes, please. Let's go. I'm all about leveraging things like this. Okay. So our goal with it isn't to create some high maintenance regimen. It's to be able to operate at our highest level with less friction. Imagine if your brain felt sharper and quicker because of the biohacks you integrated into your life. Wouldn't you be more productive and have a better quality of life so that it just becomes easier to do the biohack? Exactly. Let's leverage modern tools and all this research that's been done around the body and put it into our lifestyle. Now, let's talk about supplements. Here's my take on supplements. A couple things. I believe that there are baseline supplements that everybody can benefit from. I'm not going to go into the list, but a few things would definitely be vitamin D, omega-3s, and magnesium. I would say even electrolytes are going to be key, but you don't even have to buy an electrolyte packet. That's another topic. Baseline supplements. There's a few more. And then custom supplementation if you're low in certain ones, iron, zinc, who knows what you're going to be low in, but then you get it up to a good level and then maintain from there. So many supplements, and this is something that really annoys me in the health industry, is supplement pushers or even certain supplement brands where their philosophy is, oh, if you take this collagen, or if you take this liver product, or if you take this Oh my gosh, they're so trendy. Sea moss. It's going to help you lose fat. There is no supplement that can replace the foundations, and people end up with this huge pantry full of supplements, blowing a lot of dough on stuff that doesn't really give them much back. And it's just like, we just want to be healthier. So this is everything that I coach on really puts the power back within you, so you know what moves the needle, what's fluff, and what actually moves the needle. So many supplements are fluff, and I hate them. I truly do. Now, certain supplements can make your life easier. Like, one serving of protein powder a day can just help people hit their protein goals. Is it the ideal form of protein? No, but it's still decent. And if overall it helps your protein intake be consistent, what a great tool to harness. Okay. But I'm not about to say, this magical protein powder has a bazillion vitamins and minerals, and my protein powder is by far the best protein powder, so you need this one. No, that's BS. Anyway, that's my take on supplements. And so in our coaching, we'll help people decipher it. We literally had one person get off so many supplements. It was like a new record of somebody that I saw, just like she was, and it was all from such a great place. She was doing everything she could to get the body and health that she wanted. She was being so proactive, and so much of her getting results was actually taking things out. We don't need these supplements. We don't need these fluff workouts. We need you to eat more. We need you to crowd out some of these processed bars that are supposedly so good to get your protein. No, like, it's been really rewarding to see her start to operate differently, where it's not so much about, okay, just like, how can I get this to work? It's like, okay, just get good at the needle movers. We took away so many of her supplements. We got her on one peptide. We got her on baseline supplements, and now her body is responding better. And she's starting to operate from more of a relaxed state and trusting the process instead of, more is better, work hard, more supplements will help. No. Okay. So I do want to share a story with this one. So for me, one of my biggest priorities is energy and fast cognition. I want my mind sharp. I want to be able to focus for long periods of time. And that edge was coming down this past year. And so I did exactly what I would do with one of our clients. I assessed what's going on. I got my blood work done, right? I needed to dig deeper and found out everything was good, minus my testosterone levels. But I did not jump to HRT. That's a bit more invasive. And so I started to I always look at, what are my dials? Okay, what foundations can I optimize? What modern tools can I use to help the system in my body to increase testosterone? Okay, so I looked at foundations. I'll just share a couple things that have helped me. And holy smokes, I'm so grateful. It's like that mental acuity is coming back to what it was. And I have more capacity in the day. And some of this was about my own self-leadership. I'm not about to outsource all my power to just the biohacking or just peptides. And I'll explain that. Okay, so for me, I really doubled down on my omega-3s, not only getting a supplement, but adding it more into my nutrition very consistently. I increased my creatine. I got very consistent with my vitamin D. I got more consistent with my magnesium, and I increased my quality of hydration by incorporating electrolytes, making sure my water has potassium and sodium in it. Once a day if I'm not working out, twice a day if I am working out or sweating, because I love my sauna, okay? I don't worry so much about the magnesium because I'm taking a magnesium supplement before bed. So just potassium and sodium in my water consistently. So those were some of the things that I did biohacking and supplement-wise that really helped. Then peptide-wise, I got personally, I'm not prescribing anything. I never will. On this podcast, this is not what I'm doing. For me personally, it made sense when I looked at all the pieces to incorporate ipamorelin, which was really helpful with my energy and capacity levels. And then for me, I love contrast showers. For me, unfortunately, the water in Florida doesn't get too cold, but I'll have my regular shower and then I'll finish it with cold front and back, hot, warm and back, cold, back and back and front. So I'll do that regimen, and it really just like, I have so much more energy after it. I've talked to many people about it and they hate this idea. They're like, you're crazy. I would never. There are that, 10% that they're like, that sounds interesting. And they're willing to do it because they know how much energy it will give them. There have been times where I finish my trash shower and I'm literally laughing because it gives you such a big hit of positive brain chemicals. So it's worth it for me. I've gotten to a place where it's I'm not like, "This is the" I enjoy it. I enjoy it. And, hey, I was gonna shower anyway, add a little contrast at the end, bada boom, bada bing, more energy, more focus. What I create in my business in those following 2 hours is even better, and it helps me get up out of bed, get in an optimal state, okay? Now I wanna talk about the self. I was noticing my energy was coming down for about a year, and I realized that, there were a couple rough years in business, and I had made meaning around myself around it. And I was kind of carrying this burden of the past into the future. And I created a limiting belief that, man, I'm really not nearly as good at business as other people. I'm just not that good at business. Otherwise, I'd be farther by now. And so, underneath the surface, if you're operating from a limiting belief like that, you will absolutely change how you show up and the decisions you're making and how you're operating personally, for me, the business. So I wasn't as discerning around the choices I was making in business. I wasn't as aggressive and fired up. I'm like, I'll try that. No, I'll try that. Because deep down, I was like, I'm not that great at business. And if you think you're not that great at something, you're not going to push the pedal down to the freaking gas and get the juice out of it that creates the results, that create the feedback loop that, hey, I'm really good at this. So then my energy's coming down because my results aren't as good. And I'm telling myself this disempowering story. Okay. So we need to look at, I'm not the coach who's going to say it's just about strategy. It's always going to be a lot about the self. They can't be separate. If I kept even with all the modern tools I was incorporating, even if I had more energy, but I still believed I'm not that great at business, where am I going to channel that energy to? Is it going to be the biggest needle movers in the business? Is it going to be like, oh, in my heart of hearts, I know I'm here to impact a ton of people. And I know, like, okay, do I choose this strategy, or this one? Oh my gosh, this one. Like, yes, I'm good at this. I trust myself. Let's go. Full steam ahead, making the most of it. Let's freaking go. You're going to operate differently. Okay, so much of how our experience of life and the results we're getting are the beliefs that are operating under the surface. Okay, so I needed to change that too. I also started to identify with somebody who has freaking high energy and a tight body. And it was so freaking fun. My husband actually helped me. He's like, I feel like what you're really good at is high energy and tight body. Like maybe you kind of narrowed down your niche to that. And I'm like, yo, I could be that person. Yes. I started identifying as somebody who has high energy. And I have certain beliefs that I'll repeat because a belief is simply something you repeat over time until it feels like you're normal. And so I say there's always more in the tank. There's always more energy in the tank because I would start telling myself, oh, I'm so tired. Oh my gosh, it's Thursday and I'm tired. Oh my gosh, it's 2 p.m. and I'm tired. I can't believe I'm tired, 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 tired. You're just operating with this word way too frequently. Okay, I have high energy. I'm a high energy person. As you operate from that, your reticular activating system looks for solutions on how to make it true. So I actually let myself sleep a little bit longer. I'm like, sometimes I try to get away with less sleep and I'm like, in the long run, I'll be able to have more hours in my day. But ultimately, those hours aren't as good of quality. So that wasn't working. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to let myself sleep better. I'm going to really dial in these supplements. I'm going to be mindful of the thoughts that I'm thinking. I even looked at some friendships in my life and created more space for myself and set some boundaries with them because I'm a high energy person. I started to look at, wow, that's actually taking a lot of energy and focus. And that's taking a lot of energy and focus. And I started to look at different projects I was considering of doing. And I'm like, actually, that's not a big priority. I'm not even going to have that in my mental awareness right now. So much of gaining more energy is actually saying no to more things and giving yourself more space to hit your foundations, take care of you, and then also being mindful of what you're telling yourself over and over and how can you choose the best possible thoughts and beliefs that are going to energize you. Focusing even on gratitude instead of what you don't have, focus on what you do have. Instead of, oh, making business all about me, make it, how can I help more people? Oh my gosh, more people need this. I learned years ago when entrepreneurship is about me, it feels like shiitakes. When it's about them and the impact that I'm here to create, then it feels so much lighter and more energizing. Okay, so I'm all about strategy, plus the self leadership, because that's how you're operating the strategy, right? You're the person who has to do the strategy. But if you're operating from scarcity, from like entitlement, victim, blame, even these little sneaky ones where it's like, I'm not that good at that. Other people are better. There's so many little sneaky ones that will rob your potential, that will drain your energy, that will cap out your capacity simply because of a belief. And so something that I believe in doing is going inward on the on the regular. Okay, so this could be as simple as once a week, assessing yourself. Something that I like to do is give myself 10 minutes in the morning to tune in to me. Sometimes this is a meditation, sometimes it's writing a poem, but that helps me tap in and stay connected to the truth within me and elevating my thoughts and how I'm going to be operating that day to a much better level than like, oh, I'm so tired today. I'm gonna get through the day. No. I never want to start my day that way. And sometimes you do wake up and you're depleted. And so I will observe, do I want to keep operating from, oh, just got to get through the day? No, I don't want to operate from that place. I want to operate from, I'm so grateful. What do I need to put a little zest to my step? Okay, maybe we need an anchor thought. What are we rewarding ourselves with today? And then maybe we need to look at, okay, how am I making this about me? How can I make this about somebody else? That can give you so much more energy. And what space could I give myself today to do something that just fills my cup? Cool. Then we're operating from abundance, intention, gratitude, moving the needle 10 times more energizing than let's get through the day. Like, no. And it's totally in our power to change how we operate. And part of taking charge of that is connecting within ourselves to what I would say your heart and soul. Okay, a deeper truth that's within us. It's like we can all tap into it. We just need to give ourselves the space and the quiet to turn inward and build that muscle of connecting to it, honestly. And then from there, operating at better thoughts, better beliefs that are empowering and energizing. So, thank you for being here. We love modern tools. Okay, there's so many things that we can harness. And I would say one of the modern tools is all the personal development work that people have done before us. We can really harness, like we understand our reticular activating system. Why are we using it? It's like one of the biggest technology pieces in our brain. Why wouldn't we? That is also, in a way, you could frame as a modern tool. Okay. So many more episodes to come. I would love to hear what resonated with you, and we will see you on the next episode.